You broke an 11-year draft drought for the Wildcats.
We're going to select you right here to make you a Las Vegas Raider.
So that must have been a really special time for you. That's where I want to start with you. What did that mean to you and your coaches?
My dream was always to be in the NFL. Journey so far has been super crazy.
Kind of iconic. What does that mean to you?
Raider Nation is insane, and I love every bit of it too. Raider Nation is just waiting for that 1 year of just back to glory and the Super Bowl. He was just a dog. Coming from Minnesota, he was just a guy that everyone was like, oh my God, he's just a machine. We all have a different story, so it's going to be cool to see mine. So I'm excited for it.
With the 208th pick, the Las Vegas Raiders selected Dylan Laube, a standout running back from the University of New Hampshire, known for his record-setting high school career with 2,680 rushing yards and 47 touchdowns. Laube led his team to its first Long Island championship in nearly 30 years. Starting football at age 5 with his dad as coach, he's now UNH's first draft pick since 2013 with his sights set on the Hall of Fame. Dylan, really good to see you, man. How's it going? You uploaded to your Instagram in April, and the entire Laube family, they're ecstatic on the day that you got drafted. You broke an 11-year draft drought for the Wildcats. So that must have been a really special time for you. That's where I want to start with you. What did that mean to you and your coaches?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. The journey so far has been super crazy. It's been fun, but it's definitely been very crazy. Especially here, living in Las Vegas now, which is a crazy town and a crazy place. But you know what, man? It's been so fun here so far. But yeah, my dream was always to be in the NFL. And when that kind of happened on that draft day, man, it was definitely the most surreal thing that I've ever experienced. I mean, first of all, for the first 5 hours of the day of day 3, it was the worst day of my life because you had no idea if you were going to be drafted. You were seeing guys getting drafted ahead of you that you were projected over. And it was just a crazy time. But when they finally called your name, it became the greatest day of my life. It was me, my family, a couple of my friends. It was definitely a smaller party. Man, we enjoyed that night, drank some champagne, celebrated, and then now we are here. So it's been a good a couple months so far.
I feel like that logo, that Raiders badge, really incites something. It's kind of iconic. What does that mean to you?
I mean, the silver and black is probably, if not one of the most iconic logos in all of sports. It's one of the first franchises. It's definitely a franchise that is just a gritty franchise. The fan base is unreal from the black hole. And they are definitely very passionate, especially moving to Vegas. I think this is our 4th season or so. They come to every game and it's packed out. They don't care if we move them to New York, Michigan, if we stay in Vegas, if we go back to Cali, they are always going to be everywhere. Raider Nation is insane, and I love every bit of it too. That culture there, they've been waiting for a winning season, which it's not a winning season so far. We're 2-6, but at the same time, I think they are just super excited for the future. We're one of the youngest teams in the NFL. We have a couple sparks on the team, and I think they're just waiting for that good season because it's been a long time. Back in the day, they were a powerhouse team, and I think the Raider Nation is just waiting for that 1 year of just back to glory and the Super Bowl.
Who was your idol growing up? Any running backs you modeled your game after?
Yeah. There was definitely a few. Growing up was definitely Adrian Peterson. He was just a dog. Coming from Minnesota, he was just a guy that everyone was like, oh my God, he's just a machine. But then as I got older, Christian McCaffrey has definitely been a guy that I kind of base my game after. Austin Eckler, Alvin Kamara are definitely guys that have similar builds and play styles that are like that pass catching role that could do it all, that Swiss Army knife type of guys. Those are definitely like the 3 or 4 guys that I definitely have looked up to the most.
So you touched on it already. Now that you're part of the Raiders, what was it like the first time you spoke to Antonio Pierce and after you celebrated that first day?
Yeah. So the first time I talked to him was actually on draft day when he called me for the phone call of them drafting me in the 6th round, and just his excitement and his energy 24/7 just kind of sparks that juice out of every single person in the facility. And then every day since, man, he's brought the energy every single day. He's definitely a guy that's super passionate. Even when he played, he was just such a passionate backer. And it's just cool seeing how a guy that I actually watched growing up is now my head coach. So it's kind of like a full circle thing for me.
Who's your favorite offensive and defensive player on the Raiders team?
Oof. I mean, that's a tough question because, damn, that's a tough question. Well, are you saying for personal wise or who I like to watch on the field? Because there's
how do you interpret that as favorite is up to you.
Okay. Well, I'll go play style. 2 guys that I enjoy watching a lot, especially on film and being on field with them too. I'd say on offensive wise is definitely Jacoby Myers. He's a guy that works his butt off every single day. He doesn't say much. He just puts his head down and just work. And you just see on his film, he's just a freak athlete. So he's definitely a guy that you watch and you just go, wow. On the defensive side, guy that I like a lot is Robert Spillane. Once again, he's actually a really funny guy. I love talking to him. But him on the field is just a different animal. He could cover the whole field, man, and he's just so smart. He's so instinctive. Once again, he's definitely a guy that I love to watch play.
We've seen a little bit of disturbance in the Raiders dressing room recently. One day, Devante Adams says that he'll stay. The next, he hands in a trade request. How did that go down in the locker room? Adams, big part of the leadership. So how did the boys take it?
Really, to be honest, it's my first year, obviously, so I didn't really talk to him much. And at the beginning of the season too, I'm trying to put my head down and go. So I haven't really had a strong relationship with him. So I think it was more. It's up to him. So I don't really know how the business goes. But I mean, from everything I saw, it seemed like he enjoyed the place a bunch. He was a really good team player. I have nothing but good things to say about him. Everyone else on the team loves him too. So there's not really much anything bad. I think it's just really just a part of business, man. It's a part of the game. Which now he's on the Jets now. I hope he does well. So it wasn't anything much to it.
Can't mention Raiders leadership without dropping in Maxx Crosby. What's he like in the locker room?
Oh, he's awesome, man. He's awesome. He's such a fun guy. Just his play style is just super relentless. Even from practice, he's just nonstop. So what you see on the field is what you get in practice too. He always preaches us to just stay the course and just believe in each other. Especially going 2-6 right now. A lot of guys on other teams might start fading away, but we are still staying together. And I think that comes from Max just always talking to us and always preaching to us, just hold the course and good things will happen. So, but he's awesome.
Speaking of the locker room, is it true you're quite the dancer?
Yeah. So, yes, I am, definitely. Yes. But I only bring out that if I have to, which I've had to do a couple rookie skits so far. I've had to sing in camp. I've had to do a skit, which I actually impersonated Maxx, which I killed that. And then the final one was every Friday before a game, we have a rookie dance off. And I was the first one, and everyone says I smashed that. So I was 3 for 3, and I didn't know that the media was recording me dancing. I thought it was more of a private setting, but I guess not. And it went viral, and so I guess I'm known as being a really good dancer now.
Well, there are worse things to be known as, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I know, crazy.
You have the nickname Cheddar Bob. Could you tell us about that?
So, funny story. That actually comes from Maxx. I actually have like 5 different nicknames, to be honest with you. Cheddar Bob is just one of them. Maxx, I don't know, just like one day, it was like probably the first couple of weeks of OTAs, he just started calling me that, Cheddar Bob. And I don't know if he thinks I look like him, if I sound like him, if I act like him. I don't know. I don't know why, but now that's just my name. I'm called, what else am I called? I'm called Mighty Mouse. I'm called Freak. I'm called Psycho. I'm called a million different names. And you know what? I embrace every single one. But I think Cheddar Bob's the most well-known one right now.
You're doing well, man. I feel like some athletes spend their whole career trying to get a nickname and nothing.
Yeah, right. And I got mine in the first 2 weeks of camp. So
I think it's a good sign.
Yeah, right.
So we saw Tom Brady's ownership approved by NFL stakeholders. Have you spoken to Tom, and has he managed to sneak in a few words of motivation for the boys?
Yeah. So the only time that we've seen him so far was when he came into the facility, and the whole staff, team, everyone in the facility kind of embraced him. And that was the only time that we saw him. And he gave a little speech, and once again, he crushed it. That's why he's Tom Brady, because he's clutch in every single thing he does. We haven't seen him much. I don't know if he's still doing his broadcasting thing, so I don't know if he's in and out. But no, we haven't seen him since, but hopefully we see him soon.
Tom Brady, the GOAT. Patrick Mahomes is catching up. What's it like to see him in person with guys like Xavier Worthy and Travis Kelce by his side?
It was pretty cool. Once again, growing up, watching him play and become the star that he is, it's pretty cool just seeing that in person and out on the field. Of course, I'm not on the defensive side, so I didn't really get to play against him. But just to see how he works and watching him on film, you see why he's, if not one of the best right now.
So your rookie year, you're getting up to pace. What's the goal for you? Where do you see yourself in the team?
Yeah. I've been getting a little bit more playing time. I think me is just kind of once again, just stay in the course and gaining more and more trust with the team and coaches, and then playing more and more. Once again, it's a long season too. Injuries happen. So once again, I just got to stay ready, trust myself, and just take it one step at a time. And that just kind of going to come with working every single day. And hopefully when I get my chance, I just do it well.
So coming from a smaller program like New Hampshire, doubters might say that would affect your ability to perform in the big leagues. But what would you say to the doubters?
Yeah, man. I mean, you've seen it a bunch where those small school guys kind of come into the league and kind of crush it. From Cooper Kupp is kind of the one example that I kind of look at, from coming from Eastern Washington, early round pick guy, and he's if not one of the best receivers right now. And I think that comes from that chip on your shoulder coming from the small school, especially now with NIL, where you're kind of it's so much different now compared to back in the day where you're just playing for the love of the game. Now there's so much more now. And those small school guys I know don't really make a lot now. So I think that's that chip on their shoulder and the love for the game is still there. And I've kind of always taken that small school pride because once again, man, it's a small group of us, and I take it to heart, and I can't wait to show everyone why that I truly deserve to be in this league too. So no, it's gonna be a fun process.
A Pro Bowl career in the NFL is such a
That's
challenge.
oh
What is some of the challenges that you faced as a rookie
yeah.
till now?
Yeah, of course. I think once again, you're playing against the best every single day. You're competing for a spot while in college and high school. You kind of have that role, and not everyone's that good. But in the NFL, everyone's the best, man. And if you mess up or if you do one thing bad, man, it's the next man up. So I've messed up plenty so far, but I think that for a lot of people, of just kind of just folding in and then kind of quitting is a lot of people would do that. And in my situation, I think me just kind of learning from every single experience so far is going to make me great. And plus, it's year one too. So I have a lot to learn, a lot to grow. There's a lot of guys on my team that have had many different experiences and failures and really good times. But at the end of the day, we all have a different story. So it's going to be cool to see mine. So I'm excited for it.
It's a lot. What steps have you taken, and what advice would you give to other rookies coming up to learn the playbook, fit in with the scheme of the team, and integrate?
Yeah, a lot of people told me too, especially coming in too, man, is just stay in the facility. Just be around the guys, because a lot of those vets, man, just are always in there, and you don't even have to even talk to them. Just watching them and see how they move around and what they do and how they watch film, because by just watching them, you can kind of see, okay, what's the difference between the greats and the average players. And you can definitely tell in the first couple of weeks, okay, this is why Maxx, this is why what he does makes him so great. It's because of the way he trains and the way he performs, and what he does to get his body right every single day. So I think my kind of thing is just watch the vets, talk to them, just learn from them, and just be in the facility as much as you can, from recovery, from film, to weight room.
Makes sense. Good advice. You started playing football when you were 5 with your brother and your dad. What values and lessons did you take from your family that you brought into your play up to now?
Yeah. Well, my dad was my coach, so he taught me a lot, just about hard work by him and my mom creating their own successful business. Has kind of taught me a lot, just about staying the course, obviously, and just putting your head down, and just going. And then my brothers, I actually always played with my older brother, and everything that I did, from basketball to football to lacrosse. So every sport possible, I was always playing up. And he would always push me. He would always kind of show me the ropes. So just kind of them being in my corner has been huge.
So in terms of being an athlete with a public platform, you've got a certain influence. You decided to use that influence to join with nonprofit Athletes for Hope, and dedicate your time speaking up and helping children who stutter. Why did you choose that cause?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of always had a stutter too, grown up too, and I think it's not spoken about enough. And I think me personally, just now having this platform just to kind of preach about it and kind of talk to other people about it. And also I want to kind of connect with other kids too who may have trouble stuttering and stuff like that, and just kind of tell them my story. And I've talked a bunch on podcasts, on in school. I've always had to talk in front of classes, and at times it's scary, but at the same time, I love that challenge, and I've always embraced the challenge. During the draft, I've had to talk to in front of head coaches, GMs, owners, and it could be scary, but at the same time, and I embraced every single time, and I've enjoyed every second of it. And at the same time, I want to help others to kind of just feel comfortable just speaking.
Killing the interviews, man. You ever watch The King's Speech?
Sorry, what?
Did you ever watch The King's Speech?
No.
It's like an amazing scene. Like, yeah, the King of England had a stutter, and then he has to address the public. There's like an amazing scene at the end.
Really?
Pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, we're checking it out.
I want to watch that one. Yeah, of course.
Is there any other causes close to your heart that you want to explore later down the line?
So far, this is the main one. I haven't had much time to look into stuff, especially my first year. But I think in the off season, I'll start looking into more and more stuff. But I think this is a good kind of start for now.
So you know about overcoming adversity. It's so important, I think, to be an elite athlete. You're going to go through it. So what advice would you give to younger athletes?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is it's not if, but when you face adversity, especially in the league or in college and high school, something will happen. If it's an injury, if you fail, if you mess up, or you have a bad play that causes a huge momentum switch in the game. Always stay positive, because I feel like our self-talk is always super bad in a negative way. And I think just always preaching to yourself and just being positive, and you're there for a reason. You like, especially me too, if I'm having a bad day, I just gotta like circle back and be like, hey, you were here for a reason. And it's not because of luck, it's not because of all the silly stuff, it's because you earned every single thing. So I think just that self-talk is super important.
Absolutely, man. Having played college ball and NFL, what do you miss about college football? Is there anything college football does better than the NFL? How do you compare the two?
I'd say, I mean, I've definitely so I was 5 years in college on one team. So that was definitely my second home. So I'm definitely a little bit biased. I mean, Vegas is super cool, and Raider Nation is unreal. And I was always in front of small crowds, and now I'm in front of the biggest crowds possible. So it's definitely insane. But college was, I would say, you were always with the same guys all year round, in school, in class, and you were, as well, you're here for what, like 6 or 7 months at a time. So you have a lot of time off, and it's more of a business too. While in college too, man, it's you're with young kids, and it's a fun time, man. It's a fun time. But I think both is just a dream come true, man. It's been unreal experience. I think a lot of people don't enjoy the moment, and I've enjoyed every single second of it.
Well, what's the best thing, if we spin it around, about the NFL that you just don't maybe feel, or you just don't get with college football?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think, well, me personally, I think playing in front of the biggest, being in the biggest stadium with the biggest crowds, and just like watching it as a kid, and now you were there on national TV, and just kind of being there is just, I mean, it's definitely a feeling that you can't really explain, but it's just something that like I'll never forget, because like it's not a lot of people can say that they've played in a NFL game before, and the crowd, they get fired up. It's just such an unreal experience.
Yeah, it's a lot of kids' dreams, man. That's amazing. So, question 1, Brady or Mahomes?
Brady.
Best running back in the NFL right now?
Christian McCaffrey.
Best running back of all time?
Barry Sanders.
If you had to leave football and play another sport, which would you choose?
I always grew up playing lacrosse, so I would have to say lacrosse.
What's a motto that keeps you fighting despite failure?
I think I preached on it before. It's self-talk, and that's the positive self-talk, and just always preaching to yourself, hey, just always stay positive.
And one Raiders teammate you would always turn to for advice.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go with my guy Trey Taylor. It's because he went to the Air Force, so he's a military guy, so he's seen some stuff. And he's a rookie too, and I love working with him, and he's definitely an awesome guy to talk to. So shout out to Trey Taylor.
Dylan, it's been an absolute pleasure, guys. Go follow Dylan. Check out his journey. Maximum respect to you and the Raiders crew. It's been cool, man. Thanks a lot.
No, it's been awesome, man. It's been awesome. It's been super fun. So I appreciate that. So thanks. Appreciate that.